Hiya, welcome to day 11. I'm going to put the light on. This is actually take 2 because the thing that I dreaded happened. I started filming and Luke came walking in the middle of it. So let's try again. We're in a different place now. So the other day we looked at forward folds and today we're going to explore that a little bit more because there's a wide-legged forward fold which we haven't really explored, and it's a really nice pose and that can take us into goddess, and the two of them sit together really well. So these are going to be thinking about your hamstrings, your legs, your lower back, and there's different variations and I'll make it as accessible as possible. So I'm going to come back here so you can see me. So you might think that when we talk about wide-legged, you see pictures of people with their legs really, really wide. It's not about that. It's about whatever feels wide to you. So I'm going to have my legs that wide. To be honest, if I wasn't on a carpet, if I was on a yoga mat, I might go a bit wider, but what you want is to feel safe and secure. And can you see how my feet are parallel? And I'm going to push down through the outside of my feet. And actually, if you just do that, just feel that, you can feel your bum and all of those muscles start to engage. And there's different things we can do with our hands when we're in forward fold. But I'm going to start with mine on my hips. If you feel like opening your chest up, you can take them behind you and clasp your hands. And we always start by lifting our chest, because what that does is means that rather than bending from the waist, we're bending from the hips. And I'm just going to start to bend forward. And if you feel as you start to move you need a bit more space, then go for it. And I'm just going to come to about halfway initially, just to see what that feels like. Think about pulling your tummy in and sort of imagining like you're looking down into a pond. And this is probably going to feel really strong in your legs. I'm going to keep going, and you're going to get to a point where you're going to want to let your hands go. Now, some people might get to here. It doesn't matter. As I keep saying, it doesn't matter. It's still going to be the same stretch for you. If you get to here, you can just come and move around a bit. If you can bring your hands down, you can do that. You can walk them in a bit. And what I always like to do is kind of move from one side to the other, opening up my hips. And then I'm going to really think about bringing my head down. Something else to mention actually, think about having a little, just a micro bend in your knees. If your knees are locked, then that's a lot of pressure on your knees. So just a little bend in your knees. And then I'm going to walk my hands over to the right. And you should really feel that down back of your right leg. I'm going to come over to the left. And the same. And while we're here, we're going to do a twist. And it doesn't matter how much or how little you raise your arm. So I'm going to put my left arm in the middle. Again, if you're here, that's fine. You can use blocks, you can use anything. I'm going to put my hand here and I'm just going to raise my right arm up, and I'm going to think about trying to turn my chest. And I'm going to look up to that arm for a moment. And then I'm going to put my right arm where my left was. And I'm going to do the same on the other side. And then I'm going to come back. I'm going to bring my hands on my hips and I'm going to pull my stomach in and squeeze my glutes to start to come up. And remember how we've talked about having your head upside down can make you feel a bit dizzy, so just take it easy. I'm going to walk in a little bit now because I want to show you goddess. So from wide leg to turn into goddess, we're going to bring our heels in. If you want your feet not to be as wide, that's fine. And when we bend into goddess, we're not bending here, we're bending here. So you're thinking about taking your knees out, so they should be tracking over your toes. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to start with my hands on my hips, making sure I'm lifting up from the waist, and then I'm going to bend. And I'm going to think about, I'm not doing that, thinking about bringing my pelvis underneath me. And again, that's really strong into your legs. And you can keep your hands on your hips. You can bring them to heart center. You can clasp them behind you, or what we call the full expression of the pose is raising our arms. And you can go a bit lower. And if you really want to test yourself, come up onto your toes and bend a bit lower. And just be aware the pelvis is going to try and keep sticking out, so bring it back in. And then I'm going to slowly come back up. And I'm going to give everything a shake. And that's all we're going to do for today. So I hope you enjoyed that, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye!